Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a tour of my horrible kitchen. We've moved into this house last year, a year, maybe 2 weeks as well. So basically we've done a lot in the house. We've done some rewiring, which was a huge job, also very expensive. We've done a makeover of the lounge. I did the whole stairs and landing as well, practically single-handedly, but my husband has helped a lot with lots of other stuff. And last weekend he actually did the floor to our son's room. So our kids' room is nearly done. We're just waiting for like the final furniture pieces like the bunk bed to come in, and then I'll do a video on that for you guys very soon as well. I might actually do that in 2 parts. So do a part 1 to show you all the stuff that we've done, and then the final beautiful touches for part 2, but I'm not quite sure yet. So if you are interested, do subscribe to the channel. I'd absolutely love for you to join our journey and see how we do these makeovers and how we make this forever home our home. So basically that brings me nicely to show you around the kitchen, which it has been a challenge in the past year, and actually there's lots of things that we needed to do to make it manageable for us as a family. It's been a struggle here and there. However, I think we've got to a place where we are comfortable. We're not spending any money on it until we get the extension done. So we have an architect coming next week, which is super exciting, but no promises yet as to when the extension will be done. If the planning permission and stuff takes about 3 months, it probably won't be done this year, which is a shame, but at the same time it helps us save some money. We also have a bathroom man who is giving us a quote around how much our new bathroom is going to cost. Don't get me started on the bathroom. It's like mushroom brown, and there's pink toilet as well, and a sink. It's awful. Anyway, the first thing that I'm going to do is to show you what our kitchen looked like in day 3 of us moving in. So this is the kitchen area. It's an absolute mess. We've got a cooker here that's 55 years old. They didn't take the electrical appliances, so we've moved the washing machine and replaced it with ours. We don't have space for the dishwasher yet. We don't have space for our fridge freezer, so we've been using her little fridge at the bottom corner right there. And basically it's just a really hideous kitchen, really small, I guess, apart from the fact that it's very tall. And this room probably needs the most work out the whole house. Moving on straight from that day 3, we are now a year in and a bit. As I've mentioned, I'm walking into the kitchen now, and you would see there have been a few changes already. So the first thing probably that you can notice is the huge fridge freezer that we finally put in. It was in the garage, I believe, in the first few weeks, if not months, just because we weren't sure where to put it. We used the little fridge that used to be here. We actually have a freezer there, but it's not connected. We used to use that for dog food and stuff, but we no longer need it, so we've turned it off, especially with the electric bills and everything. We actually have another fridge freezer in the garage as well. It's basically just some extra space that we can put some things into the fridge and the freezer, especially during Christmas. It's an absolute lifesaver. At the moment it's got like drinks and stuff in there, and especially we're using that freezer space because this one's an old one. We just think that this one's using a lot more electricity. It's not as energy efficient as our newer. It's only like a year or 2 old, which is in the garage, as I've mentioned. So basically we've got the fridge freezer here. As you can see, lots of bits from my son. He made me this Valentine's Day heart, which is super cute, and like fridge magnets and things that we use. We also use this basically as a system for putting on our dishwasher. So when it's done and clean, we've got some fridge magnets on there, and then we know when to clean it. I say we, it's actually my job. So when the fridge magnets are on there, I know that I can clean it, especially in the mornings. So that is actually one of the best things that ever happened to me when we moved in, because I found it such a struggle not to have a dishwasher. Everything would pile up on this section here. And we don't really have that much workspace anyway. As you can see, there's pretty much just this. We've made our dishwasher a bit of a workspace, and we've got a little bit of a pantry here, made an organization area of our pots and pans most recently, and actually that's working really well just because we found it really cramped at the bottom there. Let me talk to you about cupboards in a second, but basically the dishwasher has really been a lifesaver, but it took a while to actually come in because of like the plumbing. We could either have a washing machine or dishwasher, and at that point I did lots of cloth nappies. Every 2 days I would do some washing, so it was like I needed to have my washing machine basically, so we chose that over the dishwasher. But I am so glad that that is in the past, because it's a luxury that you don't realize how much you need until you need it. So personally, I got so used to it, and it was such a time saver for us as a family that I don't think we'll be going back to any dish washing anytime soon. Obviously, until the extension starts, then I have no idea what we're going to do, but I'm trying not to think about it at the moment. So let me talk to you about cupboard space before I move on to the cooker, which we do not have. So basically these are super old, but we're very lucky that the lady was very clean. Although there are some minor things that are like not great, like for example this does not close. It's probably to do either with the hinges or whether we've got a little bit too much in the cupboards. However, when it comes to something like this, a drawer at the bottom, this doesn't close. It's been so old, it's so warped that it doesn't go back in there. So I've put this because of the sharp edge on here. Actually, I say it was my husband's idea, so I won't be taking that away from him. But we've got this towel on here now just to make sure that if anybody goes into that corner, especially my toddler, then they won't hurt themselves. But we've had this like this for a few months now and nobody's hurt themselves yet, so hopefully it works out. The other thing is the drawer at the top just needs a little bit realigning. Basically we had a bit of an issue when it came to like a burst pipe when we got the boiler sorted, so that was another big cost, but something that we definitely needed to do. Like that has been so energy efficient, and I'm so glad in a weird way that like our old one broke. But nevertheless, I'm just so glad that we've got this working when it started to get really, really cold. And actually today I'm wearing like 2 or 3 layers, thermals and everything, just because it's so cold outside. It's literally freezing, and it was snowing yesterday. So basically I'm just glad that this is working, touch wood. At the beginning, even putting a new boiler in did not work because it was such a flush power system as far as I understood, and because we had such old pipes, the idea is the fact that like all the dirt and everything, the debris inside the pipes actually was blocking it. But because we had that burst pipe underneath the kitchen sink, we had to turn off the whole system, and I believe that's what helped it, because when we turned it back on, and basically my dad-in-law kindly helped us put a new pipe through, because this one's copper and we had lead. So that shows you how old this house is and how old this kitchen is, that it's nearly 100 years old, if not more. But basically lead pipes were used but are not used anymore because they've eroded. They're not very good for its purpose. So now that we've got the copper pipe, when we turned the system back on, the boiler started working, and so did the heating system. So we've been very lucky in that sense. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys around in the horrible little kitchen that we've got is the fact that we don't actually have a cooker. So the idea at the beginning was to have a cooker here, where the old lady, previous owner of this house, had her 50-year-old cooker right here. However, we would have had to get rid of like these cupboard spaces, potentially this, because of opening, like the way it opens at the moment. Wow, I've forgotten how my own cupboards open. So that way, potentially this workspace where our coffee machine is, potentially something down. We just didn't know how it would work basically, so we ended up putting the fridge freezer here. It was a quick option rather than getting rid of like lots of more worktop space basically. Oh, it was the cupboards down here, not at the top, that would have been the issue, because obviously if you've got the fridge here, you can't exactly open it. It would have been our freezer, and that's an absolute pain, isn't it? So basically we decided not to get a cooker here. The other thing is the fact that the gas, oh, we had a gas leak. So because we had a gas leak, the gas man gave us a quick option and said basically we can get, or like we can turn off our old gas pipes, and therefore we will no longer have a gas pipe down here where we would have needed it for our old gas cooker. So the other option would have been to ask the rewiring men to put an electric cooker in, or like the electric plug for an electric cooker. So firstly, we would have had to pay for that. Secondly, we would have had to put an electric cooker, or like buy an electric cooker, basically another cost that we thought there's not much point if we're going to get this extension, just put all the money in extension and put up with it for a couple of years. So far so good. Basically we ended up getting one of these mini cookers instead. So although we don't have an oven, this is a really great alternative. We've had this for about a year now, and as you can see, I've already made something yummy. But what I've been doing actually is using loads of my slow cooker. We've got like a sausage frying mean machine. What is it called? Lean meat machine or something like that. And basically just using other alternatives. I've got a rice cooker. What else do I have? Like extra things that I don't necessarily need to have an oven for. But we could use one hob at the moment, the other one's broken, so it does show you that it's not for a long-term purpose. But at the same time, we've made do. Whilst I've got a spare moment, I thought I will clean this place up. But I don't know about you guys. It's heavy on the heart in the sense that I just don't want to be cleaning up a kitchen, and the phrase that keeps repeating in my head is polishing up a turd. It's not great, but it needs to be done, and basically I understand that there's hygiene and everything involved. So here I am mopping the kitchen floors after a quick hoover. Also, you'll see me putting away things from the drying rack and trying to fit in a few bits and bobs here that actually need to go into the cupboard, but there's no space. You know what it's like when you're like baking and stuff and you've got tins and jars and full of things. It just needs a bit of a sort out because there's minimal amount of space, which we could be making more use out of. Anyway, I've rambled on for quite a lot, so let's hear some music and then I'll catch up with you in a sec.
There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be, but they're not gonna see me bleed, cause baby I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn, but they're not gonna watch me burn, cause baby I got you.
The final thing that I managed to do is put together a bit of a dish for my son. It's pretty much like a chili con carne without it being chili, a Mediterranean inspired kind of dish. I've added lots of spices to it. My son absolutely loves the meat and like anything that's quite like tomato sauce-ish. I'm actually going to share some recipes, I think, that are with like slow cooker inspired recipes, and also those that do not involve basically having an oven, because I've not had one for a year and managed as well. So thought I'd share some tips and tricks in the future, so make sure that you do subscribe. But other than that, basically I just am thankful that you've joined me on my tour. I cannot wait for the architect man to come to our house next week and basically start discussing the extension. I don't know if we can afford it yet, but fingers crossed to see whether we can even start the processes and actually see how much we can save in the next couple of years, what we can achieve, whether we can do the bathroom as well. So basically big plans that are left, but I am so proud of us of doing all of these other things around the house within a year of living here. Basically, I wanted to end on a good note and to say that yes, if you're renting, if you're not in a kitchen that you like, if you have spaces around the house that you are not happy with but you can't do anything about it, as long as they're functional and they make it like make our lives easier. They don't have to be Instagram worthy or Pinterest worthy. Essentially, we can put up with it and we can live with it as long as it's clean, right? As long as we know what we're working towards. I know that I am saving up, that I am planning my dream kitchen, and that I will get my dream kitchen until I die. Basically, this is our dream house and forever home, and we're going to make this kitchen work and functional for us until we can actually build on it and actually spend big bucks to get the place of our dreams. So thank you guys for coming along. Make sure that you join our journey too. I'd love to have you with us. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.